Hey guys, I'm Michelle. Join me as I learn gardening, carpentry, cooking, and so much more. Renovating an affordable house on a teacher's budget and enjoying the moments along the way. All right guys, we are gonna be having a cold snap in just a few days where the evening time temperatures are gonna drop from, right now we're in the upper 60s, lower 70s, and it's gonna drop down to the 30s overnight. So here are 5 things I'm doing to get my garden ready. First, I'm gonna bring inside my tropicals. So that's things like my bougainvillea, my pineapple. I'll dig up one of the bananas and bring it inside in a pot. All my citrus trees and my fig trees, I will roll them into the shop right there. The key thing there is you want them to be someplace where they're gonna have a lot of light and someplace that you can water them without ruining your carpet or your flooring. Next, after I get those inside, I'm gonna actually work on my pepper plants. So pepper plants are perennials. They can grow for a long time if you take care of them. And for me, they produce better after they've been at least 1 year old. Look how good this is doing. Breaks my heart that I have to get it up. But what I'm gonna do, look at these little chilies. It's beautiful. I will dig it up and I will cut off a ton of the foliage. I will keep 2 main leader branches, and the majority of the foliage I will cut off so that it doesn't have much to support. Then the root ball, I'm gonna just put it in a bucket, and I'm going to keep that moist over the winter. So I'll have it in the shop too. And then I water the root ball about once a month. Make sure that it has plenty of drainage so that it doesn't sit in water and rot. But you just want to keep the root ball alive. And then when you plant it back out next spring, it'll come back so much faster and you get much better production. The third thing I'm gonna do is harvest everything. So you can see we've got a ton of basil here that I need to harvest. So I'm gonna harvest all the basil. We've got some watermelon, anything that can't handle the cold. So this watermelon, I'm gonna harvest my watermelons, and I'm gonna harvest a ton of squash and green beans. We just wanna harvest it so that it's not going to waste. You can use it yourself. You can feed some chickens, some goats, your friends' chickens, your friends' goats. Lots of ways to use it up. And the fourth tip is to propagate some of your herbs. So like basil, really simple. You just take a cutting, just a few inches long, strip off all the leaves on the bottom, put it in some clean water in a warm location with some sun on it. Within a week, it'll have white, healthy roots and it'll be ready to plant out. And that, I grow those inside all winter long and then plant them out. Look at this cute little bee. Then plant them out in the spring. Oh, and the 5th tip, if you've got anything in the ground that is winter hardy, so let's say like chard or English peas or brassicas, anything like that, you need to give it a little bit of protection. And a sheet is a really easy way to do this. So a sheet, you just put it over the plant. Now this is a zinnia, so that wouldn't work. But you don't want to just lay it on top of it. It'll smother the plant and it can hurt it, and it lets the cold transfer through. This little tomato cage would totally work. You just want some way to keep the sheet off the plant. So that would keep the sheet off the plant. I'd have to finish unfolding it, but you just drape it over so that it has complete coverage. Give me a second. Right, so a tomato cage would work. Now, after you've got it draped over, I would use clothespins and other things just to keep it in place and keep the wind from blowing around, and then definitely weigh it down around the base. A sheet is gonna add about 5 degrees of protection. When I'm doing it, I typically do a sheet, and then over the top of that, I add a tarp. Adding that tarp really increases how much warmth stays in there. It can add up to 15 degrees, so that's pretty good. And then incandescent Christmas lights can add another about 10 degrees to keep your plants alive. So good luck, keep your gardens going. Appreciate you guys coming, bye.